You hanging with your
Yeah.
friends. It's their birthday. I got the kids, but guess what? It's my friend's birthday too. Now you got to get the kids. You know,
Right,
there
Exactly.
just be a
right.
teamwork.
Oh, and speaking of that, that's when so I'm gonna keep going back to this book because Sean was so wrong.
Sean was so wrong. It's so many Seans in real life, though. That's so sad.
So many times. How he gonna tell his wife, "Oh, you didn't tell me you was going out and you was going to a dinner," when literally
Okay.
24 hours before she went out, she told him, "I'm going out to dinner with my friend." Unrealistic expectation for him
Yes,
to think that he was babysitting his kids and not parenting his kids. You are not a babysitter, sir.
exactly.
Exactly.
You are a parent.
You're a parent. They're with daddy. They're not going to be with mama all the time.
Right. And for him to think that it's okay to leave his kids, or any man, honestly, any man, and this is something, again, I have experienced, for you to think that it's okay to leave your children with one parent all day, every day, and you not take some type of responsibility, you not spend some actual time with your kids by yourself, that is so not okay.
That's not
Unrealistic.
cool.
Not cool. Not cool.
Yeah.
So unrealistic. And so, Sultana, yourself, you said you've been writing for how long?
I started in 2015, so 8 years.
8 years. Okay. And so, what are some things that you have personally experienced where you may have had an unrealistic expectation for someone else or that they put on you?
Okay. I guess the one I just kind of brought up, like I was in a relationship with a guy, expected, okay, I want a meal every day. I'm hungry, but it just as much as he was going to work, I was going to work too. I come home tired too.
Mm,
So I felt like thinking I'm about to cook Monday through Friday was an unrealistic expectation. So started showing him little cooking things because maybe I can cook Sunday and Tuesday and you can cook Thursday or so, had to
right.
slowly let him know you're going to help out. So he slowly started learning stuff and helping out with the cooking. It's like they just think it's the old days with the grandma, but y'all
Hmm.
not carrying the weight that granddaddy carried, so you're not gonna get the same thing.
You are not going to get the same response. Look, who you telling? Because they was doing a lot. They was
Yeah,
doing a lot.
granddaddy them took care of every single thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's how my grandpa was.
Right.
My grandma still worked, but my grandpa did. Yeah, but my grandma still worked though, and she, they all contributed. He cooked for her, she
Yeah,
cooked for
my
him.
grandma
She was
worked, but
cooking.
see, she didn't have to use her money, so she would use her money probably like on the grandkids and other little stuff. But she was a
Right.
saver, so I got that from her too. She was tight. Cause I'm like, why does lady act like she's so broke when I know she working and she not paying the bills? But once I got older, it
Makes
clicked.
sense.
Yeah, she just was
Mhm.
saving her money.
It makes sense, and I totally agree. Again, another situation I have been in. I'm relating too much on this
Yeah,
episode,
but
and
long
I
as
don't
you
like
learn
it.
it.
But no, it all came from marriage. It all came from marriage. My
Okay.
ex-husband would come, and you can testify to
Mm.
this. He would come in and break
Lord.
into the house, and I think I told the story the other night. He'd come in the house and he'd be like, "Lashante, when I get in this house, you better have some form of dead meat on the table and on the plate because I'm hungry." And come in and
Wow.
be like, "This is not a democracy. This is a dictatorship, and the boss, the king, is here." And that was his mind frame. And when you meet him, a lot of people don't see that because they're like, "Oh no, not him, not B." That's what we're gonna call him.
Hmm.
So
Don't
they
say
do
his
that
name
with
yet.
their wife, but they don't. They know how to
Oh
put
Oh,
yeah.
on
he
a
does it in front of
persona.
other people too. He does it in front of other people too.
When you get to know him, when you get to know him, he won't
Okay,
show his
okay,
butt.
okay. He does it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
Unique must be met him.
yes, yes,
Oh
she
yeah.
has.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, she got a. She know.
Hmm. Hmm.
She
Sure do.
know. But that was his thing. And I went to college and I graduated college and things like that. I wanted to be this career woman. Honestly, I was never the person who wanted children. I was never the person who wanted to be married. But then I met him and I got married.
That's how it turned out.
Wah, dun
I
dun dun dun.
and I had 3 kids. And so for me, it was like a give and take thing. At least that's how it started off. But then, like I said, things just kind of withered and they got bad at one point, and where it
Yes.
was like, okay, I'm expecting all of this from you, but not giving anything back. And so I did have expectations of him that were unrealistic, but not to get anything back at all is where the issue became, a huge problem. And like I said, where my house, like I was living with a tyrant. It
It
felt like
got
Mm.
I was
bad.
tyrant. It got bad. It got bad because, there were and there are some unrealistic expectations that come up in relationships of any kind, whether if
Yes.
it's friendships or romantic or family.
I'm glad you said that because every relationship, like when I put posts, some people be like, "Oh, they think everything about relationship," and I'm like, "No, this can go for friendship, co-workers,
Yes.
neighbors, anybody. Everything is not just about relationships. You can't have realistic expectations in a friendship. You know,
Yes, yes, that is
Mm-hmm.
very ooh,
a friend may want you to be there for them for everything, but when you need them, they're not there. That's not cool, and that's not realistic."
right, right. I 1,000% agree with that. I've had well, I can't even know if I can call them friends, but people who's been in my life who are just really jealous,
I had
and
that in the past, and it was people who, like, I was very tight with, so it really hurt my feelings. They would say, like, the book thing. I wasn't even comfortable talking about my books because the mood and vibe didn't feel like I'm proud of you.
mm,
It felt like who this heifer thinks she is, instead of you knew me for a long time. You know where I come from, so you know I put in work and deserve everything I got. So it got to
right,
the point where they felt like, oh, she's bragging because I'm happy for an accomplishment. But then when I started being with other friends and they were cheering me on and they were like, I'm happy for you. And they were like, why didn't you tell me? Because I wasn't comfortable. 'Cause when I used to tell these old friends, they used to make me feel some type of way, like I was bragging or showing off. But when I learned what real friendship was, they're going to cheer you on. They're going to brag for
Mm-hmm.
you. They're going to promote you.
right, and be
Yeah,
happy
it's nothing to be fake
Exactly.
about it.
right. I agree 1,000%. I had, like I said, and I'm sure we probably all have experienced at some point where you have people in your life who are jealous, who claim to really they want to be there for you, and they say we real cool and we're tight, and I got your back and different things like that until something good happens for you, and
Right.
then all of a sudden they're treating you like
Like you
like
did
you're
something
like
wrong.
you did something wrong, like you did something personal to them. And this is something that I've been blessed with. This is a something good that's happened in my life. How about you cheer for me instead
And it's like
of
you saw this bad thing happen, that bad thing happen.
right.
You was right front and center for that. I want you to be front and center
Yeah.
when good stuff happens too.
But you know
And
what?
that's
It
when you
lets you
start
know.
evaluating stuff. When you
But
start feeling different, when you feel like you can't talk about certain stuff, that's when you like, I don't know.
Right,
yeah,
right. But it
It's
also
not
and that's how
right.
you know who your that's how you know who your real friends are. Because my friends, I've been blessed to have some really good friends that cheer me on. I told like my one of my friends Morgan. I talk about her a lot on this show. That's my road dog for real. Just me telling her about the little TV production that I did, even though it was something so tiny. She was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to watch you.
right,
Look at she every little thing that I do, she just is like there in my corner, just even if it's like something that is so minor, like something
right.
just itty bitty. She is like, look at you,
And
girl, you
people don't
still doing this
understand
stuff.
how that little bit of positivity and cheering on, it just
It makes a
it makes
difference.
things better and it motivates you
Yeah,
and you
and I just
motivate
feel
them with
like,
the same thing.
yeah, and that's why I said when my success hits where it's gonna hit, I know who's coming with me and who's not coming with me. And I feel like the people that are jealous, nobody told you to go take your life down that path. You could have been doing something yourself. So why are you jealous of me because I chose to make something out of myself and do something with my life? You have a life too. You could go
Right.
do something with your life too. You don't have to be jealous of my accomplishments when you could be having your own accomplishments too. I never
Right.
understood that. I've never been jealous of anybody's account. I'd be like, oh snap, look at you. Like I'm
Right.
always posted cheering. I don't care who it is, even if like I live in LA, so I see a lot of crazy stuff here and I seen some girl standing on the corner modeling, taking. I was like, "Oh, you go, girl! Look at you with your beautiful self. You outshine everybody." And I just kept walking, like
And you probably
what's
made her feel it probably made her day.
It
you know
makes a
what I'm
huge
saying? I didn't even know her. She didn't know me. But anytime I see somebody, I tell them if I see somebody wearing something, I like your shirt. I like, I'm always trying to because that's just what do I have to be? I'm in control of the way that my life goes. I make my own choices and my own decisions, unless it's taken from me or that. But if I'm in control of my responsibilities, why am I going to be jealous of somebody who's in control of their actions and what they're doing? That just
Right.
doesn't make any sense to me. They chose to put their life on a path that they need to put it on. I never understood why people get jealous of anything. I don't get that.
Me neither. But it's like you said, because they scared to take the chances you're taking, or they felt like their life not going good. But you can turn it around anytime, any day, anytime you decide. It's your life is on you. Your next 24 hours is on you. You can think everything is going bad right now, but you can wake up in the morning, come up with a plan and stick to it, and things can get
Mm-hmm.
better.
That is absolutely
Exactly.
true. 1,000% agree. But when people show who they are, because I believe that when people show their colors, walk like a duck, and quack like a duck, it's a duck, and you believe it for what it
Mm-hmm.
is. And when you believe
Yep.
it for
Because they
what it
can't
is,
pretend too long. Can't
oh
pretend
no,
too long.
oh no, no. At some point, those true colors will show, and when they show, and you see, and you have a glimpse of who someone is, believe them, and just know that okay, you can go with me on this ride. You
Right.
cannot go with me. That the walk is not for everybody. And I believe some people are for a season and some are permanent. But for the
Yes.
ones that are for a season, it's really, really important to use discernment and to be very, very pay close attention to your circle. Pay close attention to your circle and the people that are around you. And whoever's not clapping for you don't need to be going where you're going.
Right.
They
You can't. You don't need to
Exactly.
get the benefits of
Right,
where
there's
I'm
no
going.
elevation. And so your sister says, Sultana, when people is not happy for you, she says, when people is not happy for you, God will show you the ones that's not. And it's so sad how people be jealous of you, but little do they know they just be blocking their own blessings. A
Yeah,
thousand
you're right,
percent.
Renee.
Mm-hmm.
They surely do block their
Exactly. That's
own
all they're doing.
blessings.
When you have hatred or bitterness for somebody else, you're just blocking everything that you could be getting for yourself.
Absolutely. I 1,000% agree with that. You are blocking it. When you're not happy for other people, when you can't, especially people that are close to you, someone who you're supposed to
Right.
love and care for. When you're not happy for other people, it's really time just to kind of look and go do a deep self-reflection. You need to go and
Yeah,
look at
sometimes you need to
yourself.
pray. Sometimes you need time to
Yes.
yourself because you might have been in a situation. Like there's been times where I felt like I just wanted to be to myself for a while because sometimes you don't want to put your bad energy on other people. So it's like I'm just gonna be by myself for a while until I get past this stage, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
never am I gonna just
Yeah.
hate on somebody and just start talking all type
Yeah.
of trash and not wanting them to succeed.
Yeah, that's why I even tell Shantae every little thing she do. I be like, "Ooh, what you need help with?" Like, I'm always trying to encourage her. I hope I do anyway, but I'm
Yeah.
always, because that's what good friend is. And even if her and I wasn't good friends, I still would do it just because I know she's doing what she's doing in her life and making her happy. So yeah, I'm gonna cheer her on. I'll be over there being her little cheerleader. Like I have, like that's just what people should be doing. You know.
And like you
It's,
said, you know more about her ex-husband and her past life,
mm,
so you know the hard times. So you're gonna jump
yeah,
because
and
she's doing
she
so
was,
great now. Yeah.
yeah, and she was there for me when a lot of people wasn't there for me. So, when I ride high on the success, she's absolutely going to be one of those people in my circle too, because she was there for me at a time when a lot of people weren't there for me. So, and even though I had to deal with some craziness, um, she she still was there despite of the stuff that she had going on in her life too, and that's something that you just don't take for granted in people, because there's
Right.
not too many people like my friend Morgan. That's I met her in a time when everything was just horrible. And I had just had my last child who was like 4 months old at the time. And then I had a 1-year-old child too. And then my
So
older
it was a
daughter.
lot.
Yeah. And then I was homeless and I was staying with a relative who had put me out in the snow.
Oh
Um,
no.
with a
With the
four month
babies?
old baby,
Wow.
believing somebody else's lies and all that. And I had met Morgan like a few days before that, and I had called her and explained the situation. And she didn't know me from a serial killer and was like, "Why don't you come over here?" And she was living with her mom, her brother, her 3 kids. So it was already packed, but she didn't know me from anybody. And she was just like,
But
"Well,
she
why don't you
still
come
cared
here?"
enough to
You
give
know what
you
I'm saying? I could have been
shelter.
a serial killer. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that was only just a few days after meeting. And ever since then, she's been my friend. And now my youngest daughter is 16 years old. You know, so
Oh
we've been
wow.
friends for a long
Good
time.
friend.
And yeah, for a long, long time. And, you know, that's why I said she's one of the people that what even just a little itty bitty accomplishment, she'll cheer you on and act like you done won 50 Grammys and 50 Oscars. You know, she'll cheer you on like that. You
I
know,
have a friend like that too.
And that is so
yeah,
awesome. That's so
It
beautiful to
is.
have. That is
yeah,
so
she be telling because the thing is like, okay, so I did an episode of Judge Mathis, and
You see Renee talking about her circle so small you need a magnifying glass to see
beautiful.
it.
I
I don't blame you,
understand, yeah,
girl.
because I that's how mine is. I get that, and even just that, even though it was something that was like, I was playing a character, and there was no script. It was improvised and all that stuff. Just the fact that I'm even going to be on TV, she acted
Oh
like
yeah, I
I was
heard y'all say
doing.
something about that in the beginning, something about court TV.
Oh, just essential because I had a filmed the thing for Mathis Court where I was suing the father of my child for selling my breast milk. But
Oh
yeah,
wow.
and
Please
they
let
said it
me
was
know when
gonna.
that airs.
So they said 6 to 8 weeks, so it should be probably
Okay.
like the beginning of November because I did it September 13th. But yeah, but even that, like that little thing that I did, she wanted to know every single detail about it. She wanted to know what was going on. And she's like, "Oh my gosh, friend, I'm so happy." She started telling everybody about it, like, because and that's just how she is. She is just a cheerleader. Like, if we went somewhere and somebody like if she's the kind of friend, if you suck at singing but you want to go audition for American Idol, she'll be there with you even though you suck,
And still
and
cheering
she'll
you
still cheer
on.
you on. That's how she is, and that's why we've been friends for so long. So that's just why I said like we all need friends like that, and that's why. I mean, well, that's one of the reasons why she's my friend. Obviously, there's other reasons she's my friend, but
But that's a great
it's like
reason.
yeah, but
Right.
she's a real legit friend, and those are hard to find because so many people are jealous because their lives is not going in the direction that they want it to go. And yes, nothing happens the way that we want it to happen, but at the same time, we still have to work for what we want. Nothing is handed to us, and it's not going to be easy. So maybe somebody got what they wanted a little bit quicker. That doesn't mean that you can't still
Right. You're
get what
still
you
going to get what you want
want.
to. Just keep
You
believing.
know, yes, but that doesn't mean you gotta be jealous of somebody else either. That just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
1,000%. I 1,000% agree.
Right.
Jealousy is not a nice, pretty, beautiful, attractive trait anyway. I don't think it's okay, especially in friendship. Honestly, in a lot of relationships, it's not okay. There should never be a point where you are jealous of somebody in your life for their success because of them doing well, because of
Right.
them
Just know
doing
yours is going to come too. When you be happy for people, yours comes
exactly,
too.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. When you're a
exactly.
blessing for
That's
others, yours do come. But
hmm
being a blessing for others doesn't mean that you're always or necessarily giving something. But even if you are giving something, maybe it's time, maybe it's attention, maybe
Yeah.
it's just
You can give
simply
stuff
good
that's
job.
free. It's no money.
Right.
Even a share is support.
Right. Exactly. Even a share is support, y'all. Y'all heard Sultana. Share.
it is very much so supportive. Very
Make sure y'all share. But we're about to get ready to wrap up this podcast here. I did want to ask you a few more questions about your writing. Do you
Okay.
have any advice for people who are aspiring, for people who are wanting to write but maybe just being a stump, and maybe whether if it's finding a publisher or even if they want to self-publish, any advice at all to kind of get them in the right direction to do that?
Yes, I've had people come and say they just have problem like getting started. And my first book took the longest because every page I wanted to make sure was perfect every few pages. What I had to learn was just write, write, write. And then in the end, you can edit. In the end, you can reread it and change that and change everything. If you want a publisher, I'm pretty sure there's some good publishers out there. But if you want to be independent, it's ways to do that too. And they don't really have, it's really hard to get the traditional publisher. Many of the publishers, like they're experienced, but they're people just like us. They probably started writing and then they added people to their publishing team. And if they have a good team and they're all going to promote you, I like the publishing groups that have the team. They all promote each other. But if it's you got to make sure it's the right one because, like I said, the publishing I was on, it was a bunch of us. It's four of us who still stick together now out of like 12 because it's like they didn't want to share our work. And I was like, what kind of team is this? I'm going to share yours. So just make sure it's a team, a publisher who really wants to help you, but there's no problem with doing it on your own. You just can hire your own editor and other people that can help you do it on your own, but you still will be able to look at your money and do everything yourself. So whichever way is good for you, but the best thing to do is just get started. Don't worry about mistakes. Just start. Just write.
Okay, okay, okay. And have you ever thought about maybe teaching or having a class where where you can teach people how to self-publish and how to be independent?
I thought about it. It's just so much that I'm still learning. Like I can teach somebody how to self-publish and get on Amazon and get a cover and get editor, but I'm still learning the marketing part. But
Right.
I really thought about that, like getting a group together. Like if everybody works together, you could get more stuff done. If you got people who you know on your team gonna help promote you and everything, you can get more done. But I have thought about it and it's still in my mind, maybe for next year.
Awesome. That's awesome. I think that would be something really great, especially for someone who is doing it independently and has been doing it for so long. I think that would be something that could really help a lot of people. Your sister has a
Okay.
question for you. I'm putting it up on the screen so you can see it.
About had died. So what do I do about that, sis? Um, just don't put their real name. No one has to know who the person is you're talking about. If you feel like it's still a make a good book, don't put their name. Don't imply who it is. Just say it's fiction. And
Say
that
it.
way you will have less problems with their family or anybody who may know who it is. But what I do is just add fiction to it, and that makes it fiction. Like you can put some points of what you want to talk about from that person, and then throw some fiction in it too, so it won't depict them exactly, and nobody be able to figure out who you're talking about.
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
it's good to know you want to write, Renee. So yeah, we need to talk about that soon.
That's
Renee is
awesome.
actually my older sister. Well, she's my sister too, but she's my oldest sister's best friend. She was friends with my sister since my sister was 6. But mind
Oh,
you,
wow.
my sister 9 years older than me, so she's always been around. She's always been my big sister, and she's one of those friends we talking about. Like something happened, something going on. She might cuss and act a fool, but she got our back. She's family.
She's family. All right. I love it.
Yeah,
She
I love
says,
that.
but it is a true story. But it is a true story. So there would be a way that she would be able to write and keep to the truth, but just change the characters.
Yeah, just change the characters. It's a true story, but it's up to you. Do you want the world to know who it's about? It still can be based on a true story, and we don't have to know who the true story is.
You don't have to know who the true story is, but she's telling it from a fiction point of view. Well, not even
Yes,
that, but just where she is changing the characters. And so even if the story is the same, as long as the names are changed where it's not the
yes, no one
villain.
gets offended. Yes,
Right.
that's the thing, the offensive. Like I
Oh,
wrote a
kind of
book
like
called F Your Family,
uh-huh.
and it's 2 parts, and that was inspired because you know how it be the in-laws and the family getting in your business. It is so funny. I got an ex, and I got two exes. who think it's about their family.
Uh-huh.
And see, one of them did inspire me to write it. I just didn't write down everything that happened, but you will never know which one because I switched it up so much. And it just was so funny to know that at least two people think it's about them. And I'm like, boy, it's not about you.
So vain, so vain.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're so vain. Like, dude, you really thought I probably was more into you than you thought. You thought I was
That just
more
means
into
he
you
feels
than I
guilty.
was.
That just means they feel guilty about something.
Yeah. They
Oh
know
yeah.
they did some stuff wrong. But I tell them if you actually read the book, then you'll know whether it's about you or not. So read
And
it and see.
so until y'all read it, I guess you just not gonna know.
Right.
But
But people
what
inspire my titles, but
mhm.
I don't still like I've dated somebody and I felt like their family was in the business, but the book is not about their family and the stuff that we fussed about. It's about a whole fiction story, but it was inspired by them,
Mhm, mhm. So
but
how
it's
do you
not
come up
about them.
okay, so you look for inspiration in other situations, things that you may have been through or other people, and then you're
Yes,
able to create on that.
yes, yes.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really, really awesome. I know I was sitting there and I'm reading this book and I'm like, man, this took a lot of imagination because what?
And I've heard some, like I said, I had some earlier friends who some of them was wild. And I even had one that was dating a married man. And I was like, why would you do that? And she was like, why not? Because of money. And even had one where the wife called and she wasn't like the people, you know how some people be like, I'm telling. If she called, she wasn't telling. Like she kept her lip zipped. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's my friend. And I was like, there's really people in the world
Wow.
that do this. Like, people would be surprised how slimy some of these females are.
How look,
Mhm.
it's not just females now. It be men out
No,
here
they
too, like
everybody slimy.
straight up getting tricked. Like,
Yeah,
that
straight
is
up getting
crazy.
tricked.
That's crazy. I don't understand it. I honestly can't say that I never will. But again, having been the wife in that happening, I don't see it. I don't understand it. Honestly, even whether if I wasn't a wife or not, it's just simply not okay
I
ever.
was gonna say, even as a girlfriend, getting cheated
Yeah,
on don't
Yeah,
feel
it's never
good.
okay.
So
yeah,
Yeah,
it
at no
doesn't feel
point
good at
is
all.
never okay. And so, okay, do you have any more questions, Unique, Miss Sultana?
Um, I, I'm good. I'm definitely gonna check out them books though. That's I'm start reading some tonight. Actually.
and
Yes, girl.
I appreciate you all having me on here.
Oh, you
Absolutely.
can
Thank
come back. We have fun. You can come
Oh yeah,
back.
I'm gonna come back because I hope maybe by the end of the year to put out another one.
let's see what my
She said you're
trickster
gonna
is.
need 100 bags of Snickers and 10 packs of Cokes and a box of tissues. Well, I'm ready to hear about that story, Renee.
I say it sounds like we need to get this
We
book
got to get this
happening
out.
ASAP.
See, you all done inspired me. Like what you said about the publishing company.
Yeah.
I'm really thinking about that now. And then I
Did you
look, I
get it?
think I might have my first client.
Did you
Yeah,
get
We're
you
it?
gonna talk.
should. Like I've always thought about that because, I was been trying to write a book since I was like way like probably like 13 years old. I was like, I'm gonna write an autobiography. My life could be like a soap opera with families and stuff like that. And I started writing and got a couple pages done, but then I just kind of lost like my mojo and stuff. But I've always was wondering like, well, how would I go about getting a cover? How would I go about getting it
You're
published? How
right.
would I go about getting, it shrunken down to actually make a book, like all that stuff. I've always thought about that and never, tried to research it, but I'm not familiar. Like I'm familiar with like the entertainment industry, the agencies and, like for talent acting and all that. I'm not familiar with book publishing and stuff like that. So I tried to look at publishers. Well, is this a legit? I think everybody's a scammer. Like that's how
I know you think like me. Like
and so
even when I was under a publisher, I was like, how do I know how much money he actually got? But that's just the
yeah,
accounting in me. But
yeah. So
you
that's
all
what.
are inspiring me to make a way to just like you say help people with that, maybe become a
Absolutely.
publisher but make them feel safe with me where they know everything is honest and real.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've wrote one children's book. Only wrote one. Well, I wrote one
That's
and
great.
published it. Yeah, and I wrote a second one with my daughter. I just need someone to illustrate it, which is also a children's book. But then there was one that I was working on. It's called "Loving the Man Who Never Loved Me Back," which I was stories I was telling at one point on Facebook through Reels with different stories and situations and things that I had gone through, things that I had experienced with
That's a great
love from
title. That's
men.
a great title.
Right.
And that's a great subject because you ever feel like you're just successful in so many things, but when it comes to these relationships, it's like
girl.
these men is a mess. And it's like I'm just not the settling type. So it's like I'm just not gonna put up with half the stuff people put up with. So I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Right, right.
not
And I
either.
started writing this book probably about a year or 2 years ago. And I seemed to get to it. Well, I was getting to it at a point where I would just become really frustrated with some of the men that were in my life. But I literally started from my first heartbreak, from the first time I had experienced a bad relationship with men, which was from my dad. And I started there and I just
That's where it
unraveled.
starts, they say.
That's where it
Yep.
started. That's where it started. Yes. And so it started there and God told me to take it over to Facebook and I did that with telling stories through Reels and then he said go to the podcast. And so now I know it's time for me to keep writing this book and to put it out so
Yeah, so that's a
so
great subject because that's
yes.
we a lot of good women struggle with that. Like, why do we go wrong on that part and everything else good? But it's because like the expectations, it seems like of some of these men, it seems so easy to find women to settle with that when you
Oh
have the
yeah.
women with expectations, they don't want to put in the work.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 1,000%. And on top of that, just the things that I didn't know growing up or what to expect for a man or what a good man should be and look like. I believe it could have avoided so many
I
of
see what you
the
mean because it starts
relationships.
with daddy teaching you that.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And so it is called Loving the Man Who Never Loved Me Back, inspired by heartbreak. So Sultana, when you open up your publishing company, I'm coming.
Oh
We
yeah,
writing.
2024. Get it written and I'm gonna handle everything else.
We writing.
Now
We
I'm
getting this
inspired.
in.
Because I never realized there's so many people who got a story in them, but they just
Yes.
lost on where to start or what to get done. So I think I would like to help people with that so they can actually get it out.
Y'all hear that? Y'all heard it,
Yep.
family. This
Mm-hmm.
what this
2024.
I'm
Just
gonna
give me a
start.
little time to
I'm.
put it together and I will put your book out.
girl, you
I
about to
will
have all
start on
kind of
mine
clients.
too. Well, finish mine. I
Yeah,
gonna
work
work on
on it.
finishing mine too.
And I
All
know
right.
many editors and cover designers, so just work on it. We'll get to it.
Whoop, whoop. I'm here for it. I am here for it. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us on today's Love Talk podcast
You're
live
welcome.
stream. I appreciate it. I know it was last minute, but I seen something about your book and I was like, I need her on my show.
But you
We
were
gotta
right
have
on
her on.
time because it was a time when I used to be going to book fairs and all that. Once COVID came, I kind of slacked up on a lot. So you
Uh-huh.
were when you said that you wanted me on your show, and I was like, I said I wanted to get back out there. So this helped me get back out there. So I appreciate you
Yay.
too.
That is so awesome. Will you have any events or things like that that you're going to be doing that you want people to know about before we let you go?
Yes, like I said, part two of Driving Me Crazy will be out at the end of this year.
Okay.
And my new grandbaby and the fact that I'm starting all over again with a 4-year-old, I was talking to her. I said, you want to write a book? A children's book is nothing I've never did, but I think I'm going to explore it and see how
It's
it turns
amazing.
out.
It's amazing. It
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. It is amazing. That's so awesome. So you're going to be writing a children's book with your grandbaby.
With my no, with my 4-year-old, but
With your
it's kind of inspired by my grandbaby.
That's
Aw.
awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all your success. I'm so happy for you. I'm definitely going to be reading another book because, girl, that
Yes,
one
I
got
have
me hungry.
13 in all. I have the 3-part series, Love, Sex, and a Single Mom, 3 parts of Beaten by Love, 2 parts of F Your Family. Driving Me Crazy, 1 part is out now, but part 2 will be out really soon. And then I have the shorter books, My Man is Her Man, and I have an Empty
Okay.
Cradle, my first attempt at a mystery. And then I also have Black Girl in a Corporate World because I worked in the corporate world being the only Black girl, and it is not comfortable. I want to work around my people.
I, I, I,
They
I
make you
I
feel
agree with
so
that.
uncomfortable. So
Yes.
Yeah, check them all out. It's something for you in there you'll like. And then coming soon for the kiddies. Give me time. Children's books coming soon from me.
That is so awesome.
That's
Well, girl, you
awesome.
already got 3 clients, me, Unique, and your sister.
Yes.
You about to sell some bestsellers. Y'all get ready.
I'm gonna find Unique on Facebook just in case we're not friends.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
thank you
thank you
all for
so much.
having me. Follow me on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram as author Sultana Sams. I'm on
Okay.
Twitter at Miss Sams 1981, and I'm on Snapchat as Sultana the author. And no, Snapchat as author Sultana Sams. TikTok as Sultana the author. It's so many that I try to be on, but Facebook is my main one right now. But I do say I'm going to be on the other ones a little more too.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your night. I appreciate you coming on, girl. You are welcome back at any time. You just let me know.
Okay, I'll let you know soon. Thank you all so much. I really enjoyed this more than I knew I would. 'Cause I was so nervous, like, how's this gonna go?
You go,
Oh,
sis.
don't be nervous. We're a bunch of
Congratulations.
crazies. Don't be nervous. We crazy over here.
Okay.
Don't be nervous.
Okay.
Yeah. And you're real. You're realistic. You've been through stuff. You don't try to
Absolutely.
act like your life is perfect. And
Nope.
that's what we need. More people just being honest.
More honesty. I 1,000% agree with that. Again, thank you so much. Your sister says congratulations. Congratulations to
Thank
you
you,
and all of
sis.
your success. And
Well,
you
thank
enjoy
you
the rest.
all. And I'll talk to everybody soon.
All right.
Thank you.
You're
Bye
welcome.
bye.
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 All right, guys, that was awesome. That was awesome, awesome, awesome. A great conversation with authors Sultana Savs. Yeah,
Sultana.
Sultana. It's not Sultana, it's Sultana.
No, Anna. Remember Anna. Sultana.
Anna, Sultana. Thank you. You need go get me together. She gonna get me together and look, make sure I'm saying these names right, because y'all, I didn't messed up so many. So how'd you enjoy the conversation? I thought that was so awesome. It was really dope.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was good. I mean, and it was stuff that people need to hear because sometimes people are ignorant to certain things and the expectations of life in general, and they just need to hear these are very unrealistic stuff. Just the whole conversation, the whole thing in general was good. People just needed to hear it.
Absolutely. I 1,000% agree with you on that. The whole conversation was good. She was a really great guest. I was happy to have her on. You guys are running up these numbers with the shares, the likes, and how many views we had. That is so awesome. I'm always so thankful for all of your support that you're giving. It means a lot. I literally only started the podcast in March and I had a hard time. I was really, really struggling with trying to get things out there, but you guys have been making it really easy. And I appreciate all your love and support that you've been giving us. And so, really quickly, before we wrap up tonight's episode, I had a good time. The last time we did some meme reviews and gave our opinions on
Mhm.
it. So I have a few that I want to share with you. I wish there was a way I can put this on the screen without doing like
You
presenting my
can't
whole
do
screen. Let me see.
so.
Is it
Just do screen share and then enlarge it. I'm a computer
let's
whiz.
They said there's a way you can do slides. Who would have thought? I did not know that. You have no slides, but I don't have any slides. So I don't know if it's going to work. So I'm going to have to figure this out for another day. But I'll just go ahead and read some of these that I have here on my phone. Unique, you know how we do this. You give your opinion and your thoughts on the meme. And it's not even mean. Some of them are mean, some of them are quotes, some of them is just some stuff that I saw on people's page that I thought was interesting and I wanted to talk about on the Love Talk podcast. The first one is one man's I'm not ready is another man's I knew her the second I saw her. I knew she was the one the second I
I
saw her.
I could agree with that. That's why I say another man's trash is another man's treasure kind of thing. I agree. I'm not big on like the whole love at first sight. I believe it happens. It's never happened to me, but I do believe that that can happen Aw, love you
Right.
too. Good night.
Love you
Yeah.
too. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and coming on with your questions. Please make sure that you like and you follow and you share and all that good stuff. I really, really appreciate all the love that you guys have been giving us. And I want you to give your opinions in the comments too. As I'm reading through these memes, we're giving reviews on them. Okay. He who finds a wife should stop looking for girlfriends.
Absolutely. Well, duh.
He who finds a wife, if you find a wife, if you find a husband, stop looking. You have who you are supposed to be with, or at least who you
Exactly.
chose.
Yeah, don't, yeah. Mm-mm.
All right, lust expires. Get yourself someone who prays for you, uplifts you, and wants you to pursue God and wants to pursue God with you. Your thoughts, your thoughts, your thoughts. Mm.
I mean, yes and no, not everybody is spiritual or religious. So, I mean, that wouldn't fall in the category with them, but I think whatever anybody is, you should be with a person who lifts you up and builds you up and everything like that. That's what I believe, and you should be doing the same thing to them.
Absolutely. I agree with that 1,000%. For me, because I am more Christian, because I won't even say religion. I mean, if you want to look at the Christian part and say, okay, that's the religious part, I believe in having a relationship with God. That's what matters the most. Not whether if you're a Christian, Jew, Muslim, whatever it is, it's about personal relationship. I want to be with someone who also believes in having a personal relationship so that we can pursue the kingdom of God together, so that we can pursue our ministry together and just pursue a happy relationship and things like that. I want to be with someone when people look at us, they like, okay, how how can you help me get there, and inspire other people to also do the same thing. And so, but as you said, whether if you believe or you don't believe, you definitely want to be with someone who is uplifting. Hello, Sherry. Hi, 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 Miss Ma'am. I've been waiting to hear from you. I have been waiting to hear from you. I hope that you and I can link up soon. I would also love to have you as a guest too. So you let me know. All right, the next one. I'd rather love the right one too fast than the wrong one too long. A
Yeah,
thousand percent.
yeah, because I mean, ain't no point in wasting time on somebody and dragging it out for a long period of time when, if your soulmate's right around the thing and it's, no, there's no point in that. So yeah, I agree with that.
Absolutely. I agree with that too, because it is easy, I believe, for a lot of us to get in relationships that last way too long because we want so badly to make them work, even though it's just not the right thing to do. You know it's wrong. You know that there's problems in a relationship, but you should not hold on to what you know is not working, because really all you're doing is blocking yourself from progressing and your partner too.
Hmm.
Right. Okay,
I
last one.
agree.
Been losing arguments on purpose lately. You right, I'm wrong, I'm gone.
Mm, okay. Um, I don't agree with that to an extent. I mean, nobody likes to argue. Nobody wants to argue. I feel like if I get to a point to where I don't want to argue with you, then our relationship's not worth fighting for. So, I mean, but I'm not gonna sit there and just argue with you 24/7 either. I'm just not gonna do that. Um, but if it's that bad and I feel like it got to be gone, then that's yeah. I don't know. That is. I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna argue with nobody 24/7. But if
Right.
I don't argue with you at all, period, then that to me is just that just means that I'm just over it and you're just not worth my time.
Mm.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, it could go either way. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. When if I'm speaking of just a relationship, there are things I will try in a healthy way to debate with you on, to talk to you
Yeah.
on. I don't
Hmm.
want to argue. I'm not with the cackling. I'm not with the yelling back and forth. I'm not with the you're right,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
wrong,
You're not
you're
gonna yell
right.
at me.
I'm not doing none of that. I'm not yelling. I'm never going to get to I try. I don't well, you know what? Let me rephrase this, cuz I have been. But I don't want to get to the point where it's uncomfortable, where we're yelling over each other. I don't want to get to the point where I feel like we about to box. I don't ever want to get there. And so sometimes it's best to walk away from situations. It doesn't mean that you let them slide and you don't approach them, but you approach them when it's appropriate. I think there's a time and a place for a lot of things. And sometimes conversations just get too heated. And me, I know me. I know me. Okay. I'm speaking of me. I know where my flesh can go. And my flesh will go 0 to jail sentence real quick.
Exactly. That's why I'm not gonna argue with you because I'm gonna be on snapped.
Exactly, exactly,
No.
and I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. Save the drama for your mama. I ain't got time for that. And so, a lot of times now, though, with being older, being in my 30s, it is easy for me to walk away. I would rather walk away from the situation. Now, it doesn't mean that it's always going
Yeah.
to be from a romantic relationship or whatever it's from, but I'm not going to argue with you. I don't have
Anything.
time.
Anything. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. I am not interested in arguing with you and fighting with you. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Yeah.
Not here,
I
not
don't think.
now, not
Okay.
ever.
Yeah. Let me rephrase that. I'm not gonna argue and fight with nobody. Period. That's gonna happen. But
Right.
I will.
Okay.
I will have
And
a stern discussion with you.
right.
Um. But I'm not. You're not gonna yell at me. And I'm not gonna mess up
You not
my voice box to you. It's just not gonna happen like that. If it gets to the point to where I have to yell at you, you're gonna have to yell at me, then that's definitely a situation that neither of us need to be around because that's gonna escalate into something, and somebody's gonna say something to make the situation even worse, and it's just really not worth it. So I rather just pull back and just calm down and talk about what the problem is at another time, um,
exactly.
in a respectful manner. But you're not gonna yell at me. You're just not because I will
Exactly.
cut you off real quick. So
A
yeah,
thousand
no, that's
percent.
not gonna
Miss
happen.
Sherry says, Miss Sherry says, walk away from the argument if it's escalating. Exactly. If you know that
Hmm.
you can go, if things can turn quick, if you know that things is escalating where it gets really heated, or you're yelling over one person is yelling over the other, and most of the times it's both people, it's whoever and whatever party is in, two parties or more that's involved. Everybody is yelling. Walk away from it. It's better to walk away from it, especially as you get older. Me, I am at a phase in my life where I'm like, okay, you win. I ain't gonna argue with you. Okay, cool. That's how you feel. That's it. I'm done. I'm not gonna sit here and argue with you. I'm not gonna argue with you. I do not have the patience. I don't have the time. Excuse me, especially when it comes to dealing with another adult. And sometimes people just like to hear themselves talk. They just like to argue. They
Yeah,
like to be argumentative. Once I peep game on that, I'm backing up. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm not
yeah,
that person. Here I am mid in my 30s. What do I sit here look like? Arguing with another person who just simply want to hear their self talk. You just want to,
yeah. Like when
I
I
can
was
leave you to
younger, like
yourself
I
to do
had
that.
no problem arguing because, like when I was younger, I had no problem arguing because I always won and because was always right. Because I'm first of all, I'm not gonna argue unless I know I'm right because then I'm gonna just be wasting my breath. Second of all, with me, being late 30s, I literally got to the point to where whether like if somebody's trying to argue with me, I will dead just straight ignore them. Like I just like they're not talking to me. Like, I don't hear them. If it's somebody like trying to argue with me in a text message or something, I send like a peace sign or a thumbs up or something
Girl,
because I'm just like I am too old
girl.
to be doing this. Like I said, like I'll have some like little tit for tats or whatever just because, it's whatever. Like I feel like it's worth my time to even do that. But it's to a point to where I have to raise my voice at you or you have to raise your voice at me.
I'm not
I'm
doing
not
that.
gonna engage in all
I'm
that.
not doing that.
I'm not
I'm not.
no. I'm down for a good debate. I'm even down for a little bit of a heated discussion if it's passionate and we're both trying to, but if it gets past that point, nah, whoever
Yeah.
you it's not gonna happen. Nah, you can't talk to me any type of way. I'm not the
Oh
one.
no, no. I'm not the one because I'm not the one. That's why I'm going to excuse myself out of it because
So like
I
I said,
am
I'll
healing. I
nap.
am not healed. Duh. You seen that? You seen that video? I'm healing. I'm not healed. Duh. Which means
Yeah. I mean,
me
I'm healed, but
spazzing
I still
out.
play some grip ball.
Me spazzing out is still a likely thing to happen. So don't do
Yeah,
me. I won't
yeah.
do you.
Mm. The thing is, I'm fully 100% healed. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna tolerate it. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna play grip ball with you. I'm no, don't play with me.
Nah, I will openly come
I'm
out and say, nope, I am not because I know I can go 0 to 10 real quick. I know there's some things that God is still working on me with. And I am praying that I do get to that point where I don't, because I can be patient and I can be still and take a lot for a long time. But once I get to that point, I'm at that point. So please, 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 please watch what you say to me because I'm not anybody you can say anything to. I'm not going to disrespect you. So you owe me the same thing. Don't
no,
disrespect me.
I
I'm not
can't say
coming at
that.
you with nothing negative. I'm not coming at you with nothing negative. So don't come at me with nothing negative. You want
Yeah,
respect
because
and
if
I
you
can
come at
respect
me
you.
with something sideways, I'm gonna talk about your mama, your kids, your grandma, dog, your uncle. Like you don't want none of that. And I'm not trying to
Yeah,
be that person or go that route or anything like that because I'm not trying to have nobody bring me out my character. Like I don't want to do that because I will hurt your feelings, and I don't want to be that person because I am a good person. So I rather just instead of fixing my mouth to cut you deep. I'd rather just walk away.
and
I'd
that's
rather
why,
just,
and that is why I walk
yeah.
away because I know that I can say some mean things, and it's not saying that I've been in arguments that I'm always right in because that would just be so wrong to say because I have been in some arguments where I'm wrong in, but I've also in those same arguments I don't want you to prove me right. And so, I mean, prove me wrong. And so I keep up the argument so that it won't look like I'm like I'm the wrong one. I can openly admit that, take accountability and responsibility for things that I have done. And that's one of those things, especially when it comes into relationships. Nah, you ain't about to prove me wrong.
For real.
So I can honestly say that I have been in arguments where, yeah, I was dead wrong. I knew I was wrong. And that's it.
But you wasn't finna give up that easily.
But I
Now,
wasn't
buddy,
giving up. I
I'm gonna
wasn't
convince
giving
you
up.
that I'm right, even though I'm wrong.
No, I'm right. That's so wrong. That's so toxic. Don't do that. And if you're doing it, stop it.
Don't do that. That's why I just don't even. That's why I said I only argue when I know I'm right. Because I'm like one of those people. I don't like to make myself look like an idiot or look stupid or be
Right,
proven
right,
wrong. I like to prove it. So unless I know that I'm 100% right and I can back it up with facts, I'm not gonna argue. I'm just not. And I'm not going
right,
to argue really in general just because I don't need nobody taking a toll on my mental health. I don't need anybody bringing me there and bringing me out my character because I know how I can get. Like, I've tamed down a lot as I got older, but I know how I can get. And y'all don't, nobody wants to see me get there because trust me, I am not a nice person if I have to get there. Because, like I said, I will hurt your feelings and I'm not in the business to hurt anybody's feelings. So I rather just be silent. I might, say a couple petty little things, but that's about as far as I'm gonna let it go on my end. I'm not finna just engage in something like that because to me, it's not worth.
not worth
It's
it.
just not worth it to me. Life is too short to be bitter or argumentative with somebody. I just don't have time for it. I don't have time.
Right. And like Miss Sherry said here in her comment, she says, my health got to maintain. Keep a still tongue. Sometimes you just got to be quiet. You just have to be
Yeah,
quiet. And me, that's where I'm at a point right now in my life. I am quiet. Okay, you win. I ain't gonna argue with you. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I came with you with what I had to say, but I'm not going to get to the point where I let you get me in an uncomfortable situation or even let myself get to where I am healing from, and even get me to a place where I feel like I don't want to hit you. Because at one point, I used to feel like I wanted to fight, and so
exactly.
to not be there anymore, I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone who takes me back. No, no, Bookie. The plan is to go forward. I'm not letting anybody take me back. If I feel like you're an argumentative person, you just want to be someone who always constantly have something to say, whether if you know that you're wrong or right, and you always want to argue, you want to yell. I'm not that person. I'm not going to do it with you. Bye. Peace. See you later. Don't let the doorknob hit you or the good Lord split you.
I'm
And it's
like,
not that
yeah,
I
I've been
don't care.
telling people.
Yeah.
No, I just
It's,
tell people, why don't you, go back to sleep and try waking up again? Maybe that
I'm trying
change
to
your
tell you,
mood. Because I'm
because
not
baby,
going to
you
have that.
clearly woke up on the wrong side of the bed. You
Yeah.
clearly woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and I am not going to argue with you. Y'all know I always like to
Yeah.
leave you, and I like to put in some Bible verses. And since we're talking about arguing, there is a Bible verse on arguing with people because we're not supposed to do that. We're really not. And none of us are perfect. I know we have all argued with somebody, but we're not supposed to do that. In Proverbs 26:4-5, this is the New Living Translation. Don't answer the foolish arguments of fools, or you will become as foolish as they are. Be sure to answer the foolish arguments of fools, or they will become wise in their own estimation. But point is, don't argue. Don't argue with fools. Do not become the fool
Exactly.
by arguing with people who are just foolish. And like I said, that even with that verse, that goes back to what I said. Some people are just argumentative. Some people just like to hear themselves talk. Don't entertain it. When you get older, you get to a certain age, and even honestly, even for younger people, if you may have not had someone tell you, but I'm telling you now, you don't need to argue everything. Some stuff you just need to walk away from and let it be whatever it's going to be.
Throw up the peace sign. All right, boo boo, I'm out. Peace, deuces.
Bye.
Yeah, don't do it.
See ya. All right,
Be like,
guys. So
message
that
me, call me when you're calm.
I'm trying to tell you, like, see you later. All right, guys, that has been tonight's episode of the Love Talk podcast. Thank you, everybody who joined in on this episode. Thank you for Sultana for being a guest on tonight's episode. Sherry, I am looking forward to hearing from you, Miss Ma'am. We got to get you on here. And there is a few more guests coming up. Actually, a lot more guests coming up. I have a pre-recording that's going to be coming up on Thursday with Miss Mary. She's going to be coming on, and she's going to be talking about finding love after healing. And then I have the bounce back story testimony of Janaya Yvonne and love stories, and she is also going to be coming. We're recording live stream on Friday. Y'all don't miss this. Don't miss this. For all my Colorado Springs Sierra Stallions 007, y'all don't want to miss this because she was right in that class with us. She was right in that class with us. And yeah, this is going to be dope. I cannot wait to have her on. This is going to be an awesome conversation. And that's it for my closing. Unique, is there anything else you want to say, girl?
No, you know where I'm at with my love life and who I'm speaking, who I'm manifesting. We should try to. We need to get him on the show.
Let's get him on, y'all. Y'all know Jason Momoa. Contact, tell him to come on and talk to the Love Talk podcast because he has a love interest who wants his attention.
Very much so. I treat him right.
She'll treat him right. All right, y'all. It's been real. I love you. And as always, thank you for joining me on the Love Talk podcast. You guys are absolutely amazing. Please make sure to share, like, comment, all that good stuff. Hit up Unique on her Instagram or Facebook as well. And you can also add me and make sure again that you like the page, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye. Bye, love bugs.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.